After a whole lot of struggle, we was able to get the engine out here and got the head and the cylinder off, starter, and figured out the problem is that the rod is frozen on the crankshaft. And if you look in there, you can see how the bearings actually come apart. I'm just going to keep tearing this down and hopefully get more and more knocked out each day, and hopefully eventually get this apart and put a new hot rods crank in it and it'd be good. Got the side cover off. Now you can see the flywheel. This all actually looks pretty good, which it should. There's not a whole lot of wear that goes on in here. But yeah, I got this off. It took a little bit, but it was able to come off. I'm actually really impressed with how the cylinder looks for as raggedy as this thing seemed to be. And the piston too is definitely used and scratched some, but it ain't near as bad as I thought it was gonna be. The first video I did of this Rhino didn't do very well, so I don't know how well this one will do, but I'm just gonna film it just to have a little bit of content to post, and hopefully people will catch on and watch it some, because I enjoy watching people rebuild four-wheelers and side-by-sides and such. So if you like this video, comment. If you want to see more, subscribe, and thanks for watching. So I got the cases apart on the Rhino a couple of days ago and then just left it because I had somewhere to be. But I got a new hot rods crankshaft, a rear piston kit, Vertex seals, a hot rod bearing, and Vertex. So this was the issue with the motor itself and why it seemed like it locked up. The bearing and the rod come apart, and as you can see, had pieces of metal down there in the bottom of the engine from where it just came all apart. So that's gonna have to be completely cleaned and gone through. As you can see, when that bearing went, metal shavings went everywhere in the engine, like all down here, and there was a little bit up here a second ago. I don't know if it's still there after I moved it, but it's like huge chunks of bearing just down there in the bottom that I'm gonna have to clean all out to make sure that none of that gets back in the new engine and ruins it again. When we were pulling it apart, we forgot to unhook the oil pump from the gear. So it broke the oil pump. So I have one of those on the way. It's supposed to be here today, and hopefully I can put the main bearing in and put this engine back together after I clean it out real good. So this is how everything currently looks. I got my oil pump replaced from where I broke it pulling the cases. That was only a $12 mistake, so that was good. But now we just have to assemble all of this with the new hot rods crank and piston, seals, and all that good stuff. I'm getting ready to put the cylinder on now. I got the piston in, the ring set by the book, crankshaft's in. All these are how they're supposed to be. It's pretty much all put back into one. It's just assembling the top end now, and hopefully I get all the timing and all right, and the ring alignment right, so we don't have any problems when I put it back together. The motor is pretty much put together now, at least for the actually hard to set parts. They're not really hard to set, but just ones you have to pay attention to. Got the timing set right there, the line to the little notch up there, and down here I got the dot to the arrow, so that should be timed correctly. So now it's just putting covers back on, putting flywheels, stuff like that. Not really anything too crazy, so the hard part is done. Well, after much work, the engine is fully reassembled. So all that's left now is to put this heavy thing in the Rhino. Here's the Rhino. It's been a while since I uploaded a video. I'm sure before this part of the video, I probably inserted some clips of the engine split apart and going back together and just some other random pieces that I did film, but the engine is in here. It does run, and I'll insert a clip after this one of it running, but it has a bearing sound, like a one-way bearing that's squealing is what I think it is. It's locking up the starter and causing it to make a bunch of racket. The one good thing is it does run great other than that. I moved it out here to take the side cover off to drain the coolant to check the one-way bearing. I got these new tires, Mudlight XLs, for this thing, and I haven't got to use them yet because of the issue with the one-way bearing, but I think they look pretty good. They're 27 by 10s all the way around. Well, I've got all this off, and to be completely honest, nothing's jumping out at me as being wrong. I figured that the one-way bearing might have been the wrong way, but then I realized that I never took any of that off. I took the flywheel off, but left that how it was. So unless if when it locked up, it messed it up, which is a possibility, then I really don't know what's making this noise, or either the starter keeps freezing. So yeah, hopefully we can get this thing going pretty soon, and it'll crank and run good, and we can drive it around. So if you like this video, or you want to see the rest of the Rhino or any other build, we got some dirt bike builds going, super build, be sure to subscribe. That lets me know that y'all like the video and you want to see more. Like and comment with any questions.